I don't know if it shows up on camera how crazy it is, but I just saw 35.6 knots of wind and we stayed above 33 for a while. 35. 37. It is terrible. Today is super foggy, so I can just see a sailboat right there. Why are they on that side of me? Oh, and that's the little one. No, that's him. I don't know where I am. I know that's north. There must have been another sailboat show up at night and park over there, because there wasn't two sailboats right there. Alright, come here. Good boy. So, stick your little disconnect thing on. Make sure you're at start. Open your fuel. Vent your fuel. Choke on. Check for neutral. And pull. Definitely something nice about having a brand new outboard. It starts right up every time. No, hey, stay, Patchy. You stay. Okay. And now I'll tilt the camera down even more and show y'all my setup. So I keep one lock here. And it goes through my gas container and through my storage box. I need a lock for the storage box. They can still open it, they just can't take the whole box. So that protects the outboard and the gas container. And then I undo this lock. Run this through here. If I can do it. And then I just lock that there. And I leave plenty of room in case somebody needs to move my boat a little or something. And then I lock that up. Get the trash out of the boat. Patchy, come here. Ooh, I got trash juice on it. Come here. Hey, I can't reach your collar, bud. Grab the front dock line. Ugh. Patchy. there. Hey, 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 hey. Ah. And this is where we go for walks. Oh, let's go to this one. Come on, Patch. All right, and see they have water you can get right here that's city fresh water. Also is a shower, which is pretty cool. Oh. Okay, so prepping for another storm currently. So it is 5 a.m. right now. I've been up since around 3:45. On Saturday, I don't know the date, but we're supposed to have winds coming in sustained of 33 knots for up to 2 hours. And then the gusts at that time are up to 50 knots, and they left the gust warnings in up to 50 until about 2 p.m. today. So a possible 6 hours with gusts up to 52. And the problem here where I'm at with south winds on a forecast like that is that I've learned that in this spot we tend to get those gust numbers pretty heavy. So say that it says 33 knots sustained with 52 knot gusts, it will literally bounce like this between those two numbers. It'll go 33 up to 52, back to 33, up to 32, because there's nothing to the south blocking anything. It goes straight to the Masonboro Inlet. It's a super long, like 1.5 miles straight channel that's real wide, so it lets plenty of wind through. Some of the other challenges we're facing is I do have 3 other sailboats behind me and a very low bridge, which is not good. Luckily I am one of the furthest sailboats from the bridge. I wanted to be out as far as possible, but still be in the little protected area kind of from all the other winds but the south. And so anyone that drags here is going to be dragging straight towards a bridge that they cannot go under, and there's construction right now. They have cables and wire ran across the bridge underneath, so I'm pretty sure the boat would go underwater and completely capsize once it hit there and got stuck and started filling. So dragging back that far is not an option. So I also went ahead and fully prepped my vessel. I have my Bimini down, I have my solar panels down, well, the flimsy ones that were on my Bimini and Dodger. I've got everything stowed ready for offshore travel. I've got my really good gear on, so I'm wearing my offshore gear in case I need to get up in the cockpit in those insane winds and rain and drive the boat, because if anything gives way, my first choice will be to fire up the motor and just try and keep the boat in place. I'll probably contact the Coast Guard as well in that point if I were to break loose. But yeah, I just wanted to update everybody and let y'all know that there is a really strong storm coming through. By far the strongest of anything I've ever experienced. I don't know what that was. Sylvie just did something. Okay, so it's about 6:30 this morning, March 12th, Saturday, and I've been up since about 3:45, and I fully prepped the boat last night for the storm as well. Sorry, my hair's all in my face. So I've been prepping the boat, as you can see. I've got all the canvas down, cushions pulled off, everything, and we've got everything inside the boat, the cushions there, and I've got the bike in here and everything. But it's going to be a really gnarly storm. I'm wearing my really good gear in case I have to go in the cockpit to drive the boat if anything happens. I've also reduced my wind resistance as much as possible, as you can see, and I even have this window open so all the air just comes right through. I've got everything secured. The dinghy set up a little different than normal to handle the storm better, and yeah, I think we're ready. So I'll put the GoPros out when the wind gets really crazy. Right now we're only looking at 15 knots or so, 14. But as soon as it gets real crazy, I will put the GoPros out and give y'all an idea of what 50 knot gusts look like. So I'm a little worried, but we'll see how this goes. Okay, I'm also worried about the boats back there. They're so close to the bridge. If they drag, they're going to be on the bridge in like seconds. So I hope they know what they're doing.
Riders on the storm, riders on the storm. Into this house we're born, into this world we're thrown. Like a dog without a bone, an actor out alone. Riders on the storm. There's a killer on the road. His brain is squirming like a toad. Take a long holiday. Let your children play. If you give this man a ride, sweet family will die. Killer on the road. Yeah. Girl, you gotta love your man. Girl, you gotta love your man. Take him by the hand. Make him understand. The world on you depends. Our life will never end. Gotta love your man. Riders on the storm, riders on the storm. Into this house we're born, into this world we're thrown. Like a dog without a bone, an actor out on loan. Riders on the storm.
Okay, so at this point here, it's starting to get a little bit windy, but it's still not that bad. If you look directly in front of me right now, you'll see a sailboat straight in front of me. Keep an eye on that boat, not the really white one to the right that you see there, the smaller one. That one stays put, but keep an eye on that boat directly in front of me, way out there by the horizon. And I just got to warn y'all, this gets a little crazy quick, so it is a little long, the time lapses. I did try and record the entire storm, but I'm just going to let it play and let y'all watch and see what happens. And then I'll kind of break down what was going through my head and give you some of the information on the radio chatter we were having with Coast Guard and CETO, as well as all of us communicating to each other, all of us sailboaters. But yeah, so I'll just let y'all keep watching. Like I said, it gets pretty crazy.
So what is wrong with another sin? The bitch is hungry, she needs to tell. So give her inches and feed her well. More days to come, new places to go. I've got to leave, it's time for a job. Here I am, rock you like a hurricane. Here I am, rock you like a hurricane. My body's burning, it starts to shout. Desire's coming, it breaks out loud. Lost is the cages, the storm breaks loose. Just have to make it, we still wanna choose. The night is calling, I have to go. Bobby's hungry, he runs the show. He's licking his lips, he's ready to win. On the hunt tonight for was shaking really loud. Gettysburg scratched my skin. So what is wrong with another sin? Night is calling, I have to go. The bomb is hungry, he runs the show. He's licking his lips, he's ready to win. On the hunting night for love and prestige. Here I am, rock you like a hurricane. 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 Here I am.
All right, from here on out, it gets real bad. I would say just watching this that how much my boat is swinging. The wind is probably staying between 20 and 30 knots here, jumping up over 30 for sure at moments. And if you really want to watch that boat in front of me, if you're paying attention, you can see that something's just not right. They already lost their dinghy, so their dinghy was taking on water. It was actually a big like John boat type with a center cockpit, and they were taking on water. And they kept trying to bail it, and then when their anchor broke, they decided to let it go. So they released the vessel. I found out later, and I mean I saw it when it was happening, but I thought they just lost it on accident. But it floated right past my boat and over into the docks on the side. But then, yeah, I start to notice that something isn't right. Oh, that's right. No, they lost their dinghy before, and then their anchor breaks. They turn completely sideways. And then they just start coming straight for my boat. It was so scary. You can see now they're starting to come my direction. He's trying to steer the boat. At least that's what he told me. He was trying to steer it away from me. I'm talking to the boat behind me. He's telling me get in there and start my motor and move. So I try to move the vessel to the side. At this point, we're getting 50 plus knot winds. I kept seeing it stay above 50 for long periods of time and get into the 60s. Beyond that, I didn't see my wind instrument much. Oh, and there you just saw the first impact. At this point here, even at full throttle on my motor, and I was hard to port, I had no control of the vessel whatsoever. The wind was completely pulling me side to side. I finally am able to gain control for a moment and keep my bow head up, but not for long. As soon as it gets up over 60 knots, it just completely controls my vessel. So the anchor swings me back to where I was anchored again, and it hits their vessel again. But again, that is because my anchor is still set. I'm still attached to my chain, and they finally stopped right where my boat wants to sit. So every time the wind gets a hold of me and straightens my chain out and pulls me back, I come over towards their vessel. And what was really upsetting was the lady on there was yelling at me to stop hitting them. And I'm like, y'all are in my spot. Like, I have no control. It's 60 knots of wind. Like, it really upset me that she was being so rude in the moment. The guy ended up being pretty nice afterwards. And I don't think that I took any major damage. It did rip their solar panels and stuff off our collision. But I still need to fully check the vessel at the time that I'm recording this audio. But yeah, so from here, it just picks up. I mean, it even gets worse. We get up over 70 knots of wind here in a minute. You'll see this front come through. I'm having to hold my vessel off on motor. This is all motor, and I'm pulling the chain to the left of the screen to keep it taut and to keep my motor running so that I can stay in one spot, even in conditions this bad. which is not easy to do. Oh my gosh, I was really calm in the moment while this was all happening. I was staying very calm, but inside I was freaking out. This is by far the most scared I've ever been in my entire life. And it wasn't even for my boat or for myself. I was really, really concerned with how bad it was, that if I broke free and went for the bridge, that I would be able to get my dog and cat off the boat both. I was really worried that I was going to lose one of my pets, and one of them drown, and it just, that was really what terrified me the most. I was really, really worried about my babies. So I was able to lock the wheel there and keep full throttle just long enough to go down and grab my jacket. And a cigarette, of course, if you watch my videos. So here comes Cito. Cito came by really fast because they thought somebody was going to go into the bridge. So he comes by to try and get them, and apparently they had held behind us. So Cito came back around to pick up the Coast Guard guy that was on the side of the shore. I'm assuming he was Coast Guard. He actually didn't tell me he was Coast Guard. But the fact that Cito picked him up, and by his demeanor and everything, he seemed like a pro for sure. So, so they go and pick up that guy off the dock over there. He was standing over there filming and documenting what was happening through this worst part of it. And then you see this front come through right here. So when this front came through, on the video, these waves do not look big, but in real life, you could surf every single one of these. They were ginormous. It's like, it does not show up on camera at all. They look so small. They were huge. Taller than my boat, for sure, when I was down in the trough. And so finally, you can see here how bad it is. Oh my God, I can't believe I went through that. Oh my God, this is only my second time rewatching this. So this is where we're up over 70 knots. I can't believe I'm in the cockpit. I had to put my sunglasses on because the rain and stuff was hitting me in the eyes so bad. I thought it was going to like genuinely injure me and hurt me. So I had my sunglasses on pretty early in this whole thing. And I'm really glad I did, because once it got to this much wind, that could have been really, really dangerous. But I'm really just hard to port, and I'm running about 2200 RPMs right here. And I kind of found a sweet spot, even though it's in the worst conditions imaginable, to keep the boat steady. And there he comes. The guy jumps on, and they're gonna tow me forward here so I can reset anchor, is his idea. But once he talks to me and realizes that my anchor chain is right in front of that boat that drug, and it's so funny, actually, when he jumped in right there in the cockpit and sat down, I said, well, welcome aboard. And he smiled. He said he couldn't believe we were forecast for 55 and got 73. So right here, he's talking to me about where my chain's going, where my anchor is, exactly everything going on, and he's figuring out the best way for him to secure all these vessels. He determines that because my chain and anchor is underneath that other boat, and because my anchor is still set, that they need to move. I didn't want to move my vessel because I'm solo and single-handed, and it's just too crazy of conditions, and they pulled onto me, and they have 2 people on their boat. So I asked them to go move him because it was too dangerous for us to retrieve my anchor because it was under their line and could have become fouled. So he went over and tried to get with them, and I guess they were being a-holes to him too, even though I think they're the ones that called him. And they didn't want to move their boat now that their anchor had stuck. But I was still stuck motoring. You know, I was still in a distressed situation, so to speak. But once I got the boat steady like this, they asked if I was good. I went ahead and decided to say yes, that they could leave the area, because it really was. That main front had pushed through now. And within the next hour or so, we were supposed to be getting more mild conditions. So it was just a really, really crazy experience. And I wish the video showed more how bad the situations really were.